On the track, our fifth qualifier, the number 61 of Justin Ashburn, 21-year-old, out on the track. And let's head down to the pits and Mark Garrett.
How about qualifies? Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And Mark, I'm standing by with Ron Hornaday, the fastest man on the racetrack today.
I didn't get that much practice, so we just threw everything at it. We listened to what Johnny did a little bit, and each time we went out, we got faster and faster. And our fastest lap was on like 25-lap tires. So we talked about it, took a little front bar out of the thing, and the car was really good. So surprised us, bigger than surprised you guys.
Well, it surprised everybody. Like I said, nobody been in a 30-second bracket. 30.972 for Hornaday on the pole right now.
And Justin Ashburn finishing up his qualifying run here. And again, Ron Hornaday Jr., the fastest car on the field here, live on Speed. Those TV shows, don't you?
Those guys they're pretty crazy. Funny guys, funny guys.
Jimmy Mosley currently on the clock. A Kentucky native, Jamie Mosley. So there's a couple guys from Kentucky here. We've got the Green, David Green from Owensboro. And we had talked earlier about the shape of this track, a little bit odd. And you had told me something I didn't know about. This track has had a little bit of influence by probably the most famous Owensboro, Kentucky native, Darrell Waltrip.
That's correct. The racetrack is shaped like a D. In the garage area, the garages are shaped like a W. So that makes DW.
That's pretty impressive. I wouldn't have put two and two together until you told me that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, that is a W out there.
Could you imagine how difficult it would be if they had HP as a racetrack? Well, that would be a tough racetrack there.
Yeah, I understand. First lap for Jamie Mosley, running a 33.725. And Jamie earlier was 48th quickest in practice, and hoping to improve upon that mark to try to get into this field. We've got 50 cars that are trying to qualify for this, and obviously only 43 spots, 36 on time.
Well, this is a big field. I mean, this is a lot of cars, 50 cars here, and he's going to want to pick it up. But I mean, this is a tough place to pick it up. It's a lot of aerodynamics in play, and sometimes it's hard to find. It's easy to find those little things, but to find something that big is tough.
We had talked about shows, and you're part of a show, and another guy that's a part of the same show is down with Mark Garrow, Randy LaJoie.
Randy LaJoie has won 2 pole positions.
The 16 is on the 5-minute clock that we had talked about earlier, and so just coming in, Jimmy Kitchens after his run. Jimmy Kitchens running a 13 fastest time, 32.085. Mark Garrow has Mike Wallace down in the pits. Mark.
Mike is, of course, a jet setter like.
And welcome back. You see Stan Boyd getting out of the number 72 there, as he had some problems we had talked about earlier. This track a little bit difficult for some people. This would have been his first time on this track. He's tried to qualify here or with the Busch Series 2 times. Dover was the first, and here's the problem that took place while we were away at break.
A lot of times people ask what the definition of loose is. Right there it is. He went down in the corner, the right rear came out. You can see where he turned right, tried to save it, and the car just went ahead and snapped around.
Stan Boyd runs a lot in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He actually had 3 starts here in the Truck Series. His best finish was 28th a year ago.
There's some pretty cool
logos there on the suit. You know, we joke about a lot, you know, your father's I guess profession that he's taken up, fishing and everything, and we had talked earlier about you trying that. You went on one, I guess, tournament, is that right?
Yeah, I got beat really bad, and it hurt my feelings, and I argued with my dad that when I fished in the tournament that the fish had left, and he took me the day after the tournament was over, and we caught enough fish to win the tournament like it did, and I didn't have the boat position right. There's a lot to it that people don't really understand, and I thought it was funny that Dale Jr. has 2 drivers, right? Martin Truex Jr., Hank Parker Jr. My dad's a professional fisherman. His dad's a professional fisherman. That's pretty strange.
Well, it is strange. But what about the fact that you're all juniors? That's strange?
That's strange. One thing Mark was talking about, the bumps getting down into turn 1. I've talked about where they have ground the racetrack. to get rid of some of the bumps, but hasn't gotten rid of all of them. And I think the shock package here is a big thing. You really want to have a lot of rebound in the front of the car to keep the nose down. But if you have too much, then your tires come up off the ground and makes the car bounce.
We're looking at front valance there of Morgan Shepherd in the number 70. Morgan, a 61-year young driver here in the NASCAR Busch Series. He also drives a little truck series, and his run 23rd fastest, running a 32-second flat mile and a half here in Kentucky, and his best start 21st in Dover, and so not able to improve upon that here in Kentucky.
Here in the Bluegrass State.
That's correct.
Home of Bill Monroe, father of the Bluegrass.
Well, thanks a lot, Rick. I've moved down into the middle of the garage area, which unfortunately today has become somewhat of a graveyard here. This is the car of Stan Boyd, the number 72 car that we saw crash during his qualifying run. This is the 4th car that's been killed here at Kentucky today. Look at the right side of the car. It's all pretty clean. You know, he had a crash, but all the damage, a little bit of crinkle back here on the right rear fender. But let's move around on the left side of the car and let you can see what happens when a car goes in here. They have to run the cars pretty loose in qualifying here. That makes the back end hang out. The driver loses the car, he overcorrects, and it turns and spins up the racetrack, and it catches the left rear of the car into the wall first. That's what's happened here. You see the guys trying to get the car fixed up so they can load it up on the trailer. Then when the left rear hits, it slams the left front into the wall. You can see all the damage that's done here. Fortunately, it didn't get the driver's door right under where Stan was sitting. But look right here. I've never seen this before. Look at this shock right here sticking inside the left front tire. It broke the shock loose, jammed it right in front of the left front tire there. Man, that's unusual. That is really a hard hit. We're going to get on out of here. The wrecker's coming to tow this baby away. Tough luck for Stan Boyd, but did show us something we have never seen before, that shock sticking inside that tire.
And we take a look back at how that damage was put into that vehicle, and you see him getting loose there, like we talked about. Loose is fast.
That's right. Glenn hit the nail right on the head, and when he said he just got loose, and you've got to run these cars so loose in qualifying, so when you're on the edge,